I have a DoorDash update for you. It is a little scary. It is very big brother, and if you are not careful, it could lead to deactivation. So in this video, we're going to go over this new update. Is Big Brother really watching you for DoorDash, or is it to keep you safe? And how does it affect you as a Dasher? So let's get right into it. So picture this. For whatever reason, you have to call the customer. It's not something you normally do, but there's a big problem and you need to figure out what's going on. And you might be at a restaurant and the restaurant says, hey, I don't have this. Can you call the customer to see if they want a substitution? That's happened to me a couple of times. So you call the customer, you keep the interaction short, sweet, simple, to the point, professional. You hang up the call, and then you get this alert. Yeah. So this is what it says. Offensive language on call. Using offensive language towards your customer is a violation of our community guidelines and could lead to account deactivation. Wow. So as a Dasher, you're thinking, what the heck did I say? And you're racking your brain and you're like, I said everything professionally, I said everything right. But it's just one word that could have triggered the AI system to give you either a contract violation or deactivate you from the DoorDash platform. That's how easy it is, and that is how DoorDash is relying on their AI systems. So is Big Brother watching? Well, we're going to answer that in a little bit. But I've seen this happen with chat messages before. It has even happened to me where I've gotten one of those messages. And it's funny because I wasn't the one who actually sent it to the customer. I had a shop and it was one of those automated messages that DoorDash sends to the customer themselves. And then it came back that I was sending inappropriate stuff. And I'm like, it's DoorDash who sent it, not me. But it literally only can trigger anything, really. And when I was talking to other Dashers about this, one Dasher I know actually got this too. It's because he had a call because he was at Dick's Sporting Goods and he had to do a substitution for an item that was a pickup, and Dick's Sporting Goods had no way of contacting the customer. So he had to contact them and said, hey, I'm your Dasher. I'm here at Dick's Sporting Goods, and this is what's happening. And that's what popped up for him. It's crazy what triggers anything these days and what flags in their system. And we do not know what those keywords are or phrases. So we're going to get into how this really affects you as a Dasher because, man, you have to be careful. So what do you think about this? Do you think it's very DoorDash Big Brother that they're monitoring everything we do as a Dasher, and now they're monitoring our phone calls along with our messages? It's very interesting, right? So if you remember back in, I want to say it was March of 2024. Anyway, DoorDash launched the Safe Chat Plus, and it was a tool that was made to scan all those in-app chats we do between us and the customers. And DoorDash says its goal was to spot and stop abusive and harassing messages to make the platform safer. It sounded very believable, right? So the company also claimed that their AI system could scan over 1,400 messages a minute and can understand different languages. And I want to say it was English, Spanish, and I want to say Mandarin, but don't quote me on the last one. Now, here's kind of the key part of this all, is this isn't the old system that just looked at curse words, right? This new Safe Chat Plus, it was a machine learning AI, which means that it was to understand context and nuances. In theory, it sounded really great. And it sounded like DoorDash really wanted to protect us from rude customers and if they detected someone harassing a Dasher. And it added a level of protection for us. But now, are they using it in reverse and reusing it against us to deactivate Dashers? You know, it's a very fine line because you never know what the AI system is going to pick up on. Can they pick up on tones if they're picking up on nuances? And your tone might be meant to be direct, but AI might be taking it a completely different way. You might be trying to find directions and you're on the phone with a customer because you're lost and their directions aren't great. And you look at the street sign and the street sign says, "Hey, I'm on Dickinson Street," and then AI just flagged you for inappropriate language, even though you were just saying the name of the street. Or you could be on the phone with a customer and say, I'm pretty sure it's this instead of that. The word pretty could have triggered the algorithm. You never know what is coming out of your mouth that could be offensive language in the eyes of DoorDash AI. That's the scary part of this all. So, how does this affect you as a Dasher? It affects each and every one of us in a pretty big way, I have to tell you, because you really have to watch what you say and also what you write. It's either in messaging or if you are talking over the phone, because anything can be construed as offensive language and could violate the community guidelines. And you don't want to end up on your end of deactivation. And then you have to fight it. And then you have to go through appeals. And then God only knows. And then who knows how long it's going to take you to get back on the DoorDash platform. So I have learned over the years, I am the Dasher who hardly ever communicates with a customer. I only communicate when I absolutely have to. And it is short, it is sweet, it is simple, and I make sure that nothing can be misconstrued in any single way, even though you might be trying to just be nice, right? You're trying to help the customer as best as you can. But the more you chat, the more you interact, it's honestly the worse off for you as a Dasher and what they're monitoring in the system. I hardly ever call the customer. I can't tell you the last time I actually called a customer. I think the only time I have ever actually made a physical phone call is if I arrive at a restaurant and they say that we don't have this, we can't get a hold of the customer, can you call them? And you try to chat first and they're not responding, and you're like, darn it, I really need to call them to get on the road and get going quickly. Last resort, I'm telling you. Even messaging these days, last resort, and keep it short, sweet, simple. I've already said this, but when you do have to communicate with a customer, try to keep it in the messaging in the chat, because you can always screenshot a message or a chat. You cannot do any of that with a phone call. It is completely hearsay. And in the eyes of the beholder, which this one, it seems like DoorDash is monitoring your phone call. So is AI ruling DoorDash these days? Are they trying to monitor Dashers more than what we even think? Honestly, it's kind of scary. It's definitely, in my opinion, Big Brother. What do you think about all of this? Do you think it's a little nutty that DoorDash is using this technology against Dashers when it could be just a simple misunderstanding? Or it could even be a tech glitch that could cost you your DoorDash account. You know, the fear is real when it comes to deactivations because this really shows you that one wrong word or twisted out of context by a machine could get you deactivated. And it's something that every dasher is not immune to. It could happen to even the best of us with the best stats, with the highest acceptance rate, with the best customer rating. This can happen to anyone, and that's what actually makes it so scary. If you think this AI technology is crazy or scary or very big brotherish, go ahead, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more DoorDash content. Speaking of another update, actually it's kind of news. This popular retail chain that uses DoorDash and is very popular that we do pickups from almost every single day, very slyly changed their policies that affects dashers. You are going to want to check this video out next, and I'll see you over there.